Now, I'm curious for you, David, because you're of the elite. Did you have any temptations to move from natural bodybuilding to, say, the IFBB, classic physique?
I would argue no. I think what's interesting is that people ask me this question a lot. And I think for me, when I grew up and got into bodybuilding, Instagram wasn't a thing. It didn't exist. And I was quite happy training on my own, improving, making gains naturally. And then I competed as a natural and had success pretty quickly. So I was content and happy with doing what I was doing. Of course, I was aware that, we had the IFBB, because everyone, when you get into the sport, you read Muscle and Fitness, Flex magazine, you see Ronnie Coleman, you know they're not natural, but for me, there was never a desire to go that route. And I'm towards the end of my career now. I don't foresee me going that way. I don't think I'll go for a classic route and try and compete in the IFBB naturally. I don't think I would do that either. Like I say, I'm happy with what I've done. That's not to say if I was 10, 15 years younger, and I'm now a 20-year-old growing up in today's sort of environment with social media, maybe I would think differently. Maybe the temptation would be there, but that's just speculation. I can't say for sure, but certainly in my position now, no.
Okay. And what drew you to natural bodybuilding specifically?
A good question. I think I fell into it, which isn't an uncommon story. Like I said before, I was an athlete. I loved being involved in sport. I loved training hard and I loved competing. And when that fell away, I got into the gym. I was training hard. I didn't know that I was actually training as a bodybuilder. I just thought I was lifting weights. But when I look back on it, I was doing a full-on bro split, training as a bodybuilder. And a friend of mine, actually, who lived near me at the time, he mentioned the BMBF, and he says there's a natural federation. Do you want to come and check it out? They've got a show in a month or two. So I says, yeah, cool, we'll do that. And I went along to that show, and I was absolutely blown away by the production, the competitor standards, everything about it. I mean, the whole auditorium was packed. There wasn't a free seat. And I was like, wow, I didn't even know this existed. And it just so happens that at that show, that was the BMBF British Championships in 2006. The guest poser at that show was a gentleman by the name of Rob Hope. Now, anyone who is a real fan of natural bodybuilding will know exactly who Rob Hope is. Rob Hope was a 3-time overall world champion from 2004 to 2006. And widely considered to be the greatest of all time. There's always debate, but I've seen them all, and Rob's still the best. But that's my opinion, and that's by the by. But once I saw Rob Hope and I saw what was possible naturally, I thought, yeah, I love this. I don't need to think about anything else. And that was that. And then 2 years later, I was on stage myself.
6-time British champ, 3-time overall world champ. What are those numbers looking like? Because oftentimes people will associate some of the greatest natural bodybuilders to be some of the strongest, relatively speaking, of course. But what do those numbers look like, and for what exercises? So maybe just pick a few where you feel like these are kind of my top that I...
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably known for deadlifting. I remember watching Doug Miller